Spacebar to talk. You got it. You gotta press and hold, all right?
All right, everyone. Welcome to the 187 District Court. Everyone needs to make sure they are on mute. These are the rules of the 187 District Court. You are in a courtroom. If you behave inappropriately on this Zoom screen, your Zoom privileges will be revoked. What does that mean? Anything that you could not do if you were physically in this courtroom, you can't do on the Zoom screen. To all the inmates, you're not allowed to use the chat box. You're not allowed to use the internet. If you do any of these things, what will end up happening is you will be sent back. You know they're shorthanded, so that means that we'll probably be seeing you in 30 to 60 days. To everyone else, if you're at your home or at your office, you're in the courtroom, that means there's to be no laying in bed, no cooking of food. If you're at work, you need to let your employer know that you need to take a break because you are in court. If you violate any of these rules, it's not going to be a happy Monday. And I'm hoping we can keep this as a happy Monday. So what will happen when your Zoom privileges are revoked? Doesn't matter if you're out of county, out of state, out of country. You're going to be required to appear in the 187 District Court. And if you do not appear in the 187 District Court, a warrant may be issued for your arrest. If you're in county, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have to take the VIA bus, which is going to entail you trying to find change for the bus, or either giving them bills, in which case I believe they still don't give you change back, or either you're going to have to get an Uber or a Lyft, or either you're going to have to drive downtown. And when you drive downtown, there's less traffic because the students are on vacation for Thanksgiving. But guess what? There's still one-ways, there's still construction. And once you make it down here, you're going to have to find parking. If you're able to find parking, you're going to find that parking is very expensive now. To all the attorneys, if you have a plea bargain agreement, no matter how small you think that agreement is, you need to put that agreement in the chat box, the court coordinator. She's listed as Ferguson coordinator. But do not email her, chat her, text her, call her, asking for a continuance. I'm the only person who can give that to you. To all of the defendants, all of the inmates, all of those who are accused of a crime, your attorney's name will be called. Your name will not be called. If you do not hear your attorney's name, your attorney will be here shortly. They're more likely zooming in another courtroom or had to appear in person in another courtroom. Everyone, put some patience in your pocket and it will be a good Monday. I'm going to open the breakout rooms. When I open breakout rooms, it's going to invite everyone to a breakout room. Do not, I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call you by name and assign you to a breakout room. Your attorney is probably going to want to speak to the prosecutor before they speak to you. So again, don't request to go to the breakout room. To all attorneys, treat those breakout rooms as going to the doctor's office. When you go visit your doctor, you're excited because they're calling you to the back. Doctor's not seeing you right away. He's just checking your weight and your blood pressure. All of the prosecutors are co-hosts. They have the ability to move throughout the breakout rooms. They can see who's in the breakout room. If you leave that breakout room, it will show that you are assigned to that breakout room, but it's going to show that that breakout room is empty, so the prosecutor will skip over you. To attorneys, if you can add to your name the name of your client and whether or not it's family violence or criminal trial division, that will help me assign you quicker. If you cannot do that, that is fine. Jay Moritz, I thank you for putting your client's name in there, but if you could put whether it's family violence or criminal trial, that will give you an A+. All right, I'm going to call the names of the attorneys. This is the order in which you'll appear. If you don't hear your name, let me know. Robert Porter, Jay Moritz, Claudine Espinoza, Michael Latimer, Albert Gutierrez, Ed Camaro, John Winter, Denny Callahan, Austin Hagee. Is there any attorney that I've missed? Okay. Robert Porter.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Thank you for changing your name. You're starting off Monday on a great footing.
Go team.
Go team. Yeah. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. Prosecutor will meet you there. Jay Moritz, thank you for changing your name and putting on that it's a motion to revoke. I'm going to send you to number 4. A prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you.
Claudine Espinoza, who do you have?
Good morning. I'm here for Michaela Doty. She's present as well. This is a motion to amend bond conditions. So if I may confer with the state, I'd appreciate it.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Family violence, Your Honor. And I zoomed from my phone. Otherwise, I would. I don't know how to change my settings to change.
Let me explain to you about that. If you go on your phone and you go to participants and you click on that, and then you click on your name as a participant, there should be an arrow. And then when you click on that arrow, it will say rename.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate that.
Sure, no
Good tip.
problem. I'll send you to number 5.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I learned that through trial and error myself.
Oh, good to know. Thank you.
Yeah. Michael Latimer.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for changing your name. I'll send you to number 6.
All right, thank you.
Albert Gutierrez, I saw you just do that. Thank you so much. I'm sending you to number 7. Ed Camara. You're on mute, Mr. Camara. Mr. Camara, you're muted.
Yeah, I thought you liked me better on mute.
Who do you have?
I have Aaron Taylor, Criminal Trial Division.
I'm sorry, what's the first name?
Aaron, Aaron.
All right, I'm going to send you to number 8.
Thank you.
You're welcome. John Winter. John, did you even try to add to your name?
Judge, I don't think you should be asking me too many questions on a Monday morning.
All right, who do you have?
I've got Dennis Trejo, and it's trial division.
All right, I'm going to send you to number 9.
Thank you.
Jenny Callahan. You're on mute.
Hi, Judge.
Yes, who do you have?
Warren Worth, Criminal Trial Division.
All right, I'll send you to number 10. Austin Hagee.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who do you have?
I have Eric Della Riva.
All right, I'll send you to number 11.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alfred Ramirez.
Yes, Judge. I have Fernando Carmona.
I'm sorry, what's the last name again?
Carmona, Carmona.
And first name?
Fernando.
Criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal.
All right, I'll send you to number 12.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, to all of you who are moving around on the Zoom screen, you need to find a place and get stationary. That's Mr. Ponce and Mr. Monday. So find a spot and be stationary. And who is, could you unmute for me? Demetria?
Yes, Judge, I got a text, I think, something on my
Okay.
thing to unmute.
Yes, just one moment. All right, I'll send you to breakout room, number 13. That's a lucky breakout room number.
Thank you, Judge. I'd like being lucky on a Monday morning.
Yeah. All right, Guillermo Ponce,
Yes, Your Honor.
Emmanuel Leos. Let me see, you're here for a compliance hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just one moment. Rebecca, do I have the documents on the compliance hearing?
Yes, ma'am. I sent them to you with little notes in the section.
Email?
Yes.
Okay, let me check that. All right, let me see if there's a family violence prosecutor available.
And I did send them to the ADAs this morning as well.
All right, Mr. Ponce, just give us a moment and we'll take up your matter. And then Mr. Leos.
The point was on mute, man?
Just one moment.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Mr. Leos, can you unmute for me, please? I think he deleted himself. Oh, no. Let me see.
It looks like he accidentally turned off his camera.
So we'll wait till he comes back. All right, Ms. Espinoza, you're back.
Yes, Your Honor, we're back. I was able to confer with Joe Ray, and he is in agreement to partial house arrest for purposes of Ms. Doty being able to go to work. And actually, I think she is present on here as well.
Yes.
Michaela, you'll let the judge know that you're here, please.
All right, Ms. Doty.
Yes, Your Honor. Hello.
All right, Ms. Doty, you'll be allowed to work on this GPS, but that is all. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So, of course, at some point in time, maybe your attorney is going to ask for your time to be expanded, but it's very important that you follow the rules. If you don't follow the rules, what will end up happening is you may find yourself back on full GPS. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Michaela, do you want to share with the judge what you're going through right now, Monday through Friday?
So I am going to, I'm at Laurel Ridge. I'm in their partial hospitalization program,
Okay.
Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 3:30, and I'll be working afterwards from 4:30 to about 10 o'clock.
Okay, so did you speak with the prosecutors about her being allowed to take care of all medical issues as well?
I did talk to him about other household duties. So if I could go back into the breakout room, I didn't know if Michaela wanted me to share, how much of that. I didn't have her permission yet to share that. So,
well, I mean, what I can tell you is I'm not gonna, there's really no need to confer over that. I'm not gonna stop someone from going to medical appointments. But again, Ms. Doty, you need to make sure that that's strictly for medical appointments. So you'll be allowed to go to medical appointments, you'll be allowed to work, but in being allowed to work and having your medical appointments, what you're gonna have to do, again, it's not working. What you're gonna have to do is make sure that you provide that information to pretrial services or to your probation officer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else?
There is nothing else.
Okay, it will be placed in the system.
And Judge, may I ask if once this is signed, if a copy of this could be sent to Hector and I, please?
Yes, to the clerk.
So that way I get
Yes, If you
Okay.
put that in the chat box to the clerks, and the clerks are listed on this screen as 187 clerk. So if you can send that to
Okay.
them.
I will do that. And I'm going to go off camera to do that, Your Honor, so that nobody sees
All
my.
right. And
sees
so
me
did you
using my
talk to
phone.
him about these? So for now, Ms. Doty, the the essential household functions and religious service, that's
He said
not,
no.
yes, okay,
I'll be honest about that. Joe Ray said no.
okay.
He was.
And then
comfortable
I'll
with the-
request that fees be waived.
Yes, he was comfortable with that. Thank you, Your Honor. We appreciate that.
You're welcome. Ms. Espinoza,
Yes, Your Honor.
does she have employment or is she looking for employment?
She is actually in a position where her employer will take her back.
Ah, okay.
So she really doesn't have to look far.
All right, thank you, because that was in the motion. All right, then you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Y'all have a good day, good week, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Oh, thank you, you too.
Thank you, Your Honor. Happy
Thank you.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you, you too.
Bye, Michaela.
Bye.
Testing 1, 2, 3, testing. Hello, John.
Excuse me, Mr. Monday, why are you speaking out in court? You're in court. If you were physically in the courtroom, guess what? You don't just shout in the courtroom. So why do you think that you can do that here? Don't be shy, unmute yourself. All right, Rochelle Acevedo, who do you have? Rochelle Acevedo.
Hi, Judge, I apologize.
No problem. Who do you have?
I have Radon Marshall.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
I think it's Criminal Trial Division, and I believe it's an MTR.
Okay, let me check on that.
Judge, it was a status of DDRF, and that was part of the SRs that I sent you.
Okay. All right, just give me one moment, Ms. Acevedo. Albert Gutierrez.
Yes, Your Honor. I conferred with Mr. Sanders on
Yes.
Mr. Barbosa. And my client posted bond, Your Honor. But I think pretrial services is telling him that he has to be in Bexar County, but he resides in Portland, Texas.
I don't understand if he posted bond. What is,
They won't let him out.
is this like a GPS? I don't understand. Is he on probation?
He is not on probation, Your Honor. It's a pending trial. I don't understand either. If you look on the computer on Bexar County Services, it says that he's released on bond, but he's not released.
All right, to the clerks, can you bring me the events log on Mr. Barbosa? We'll see what's going on.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Could I speak to Mr. Gutierrez, if that's all right?
Of course. While they're checking on that, Mr. Gutierrez, I'm going to send your client to breakout room number 7.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, Ms. Acevedo, just give me a moment. Mr. Leos, I'm going to take up your matter. All right, Mr. Leos, are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you're here because the state, well, probation is asking to extend your probation. Do you know why they want to extend it?
Yeah, because of lack of money. I believe.
No, it's not lack of money. You're not attending your outpatient treatment.
No, I went to all my classes and
No, it
they've been
says,
asking-
look here. It says you failed to attend the first outpatient group session, that you restarted it. And I understand there are issues with you giving UAs because of your medical condition. So there are programs that you have to complete.
I got that 1 2-hour class that's $65, and the UA I went for hair follicles, and they haven't gave it to me. I went 3 times already. The probation, this is a supervisor now telling me this for the Miss King, the counselors, for my class to finish. I gotta have a UA. So they went to hair follicles. I said, fine, okay. I go over there and they don't give me, the first time I went, they didn't give me a referral. She just gave me a piece of paper with the address. And this was just this Friday, week before, and the week before that. So I go in there and get the referral. The referral has nothing about which UA they want. All she told me it's $100 UA. Fine, I had the $100.
All right, Mr. Leos, this is what I'm going to do because they want to extend you for a long time. I'm going to extend you for 2 months. Okay?
Okay.
I'm extending you for 2 months. And Rebecca, can we make sure that he gets his hair follicle done?
Yes, Judge.
And we're going to get a status on your classes. So don't miss anything else because otherwise, Mr. Leos, you're going to be extended. I mean, do you want to be on this probation forever?
No, ma'am.
All right. So in order to get off of probation, you got to be successful at it. I can't let you off of probation. You haven't completed everything that's been required. All right. So we're going to get your hair follicle done. And if there's an issue with the hair follicle, let the court know and we'll see what's going on.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. So just remain here for a moment and probation is going to go over your new conditions with you.
Okay.
And then is there a family violence prosecutor? They're still in the breakout room. Rebecca,
I'm here.
Mr. Ponce?
Yes.
Rebecca sent the information out for Mr. Ponce and it's concerning a removal of GPS.
Okay.
This is an assault choking. My understanding is that the complainant wants the GPS removed or has no objections to GPS being removed.
I'm just going to double check on that, Judge, with my notes, and then we may be able to do. Is this the one that had the wedding this past weekend?
No, this is someone different.
Okay, because I was going to say, oh, if it went well, then great.
Yeah, no, this is completely different.
Look here.
All right, and
Excuse
Mr.
me.
Just one
Excuse me,
second.
Your Honor. Okay.
No.
Looks like we attempted to contact her, but we weren't successful.
All right, Mr. Ponce, do you know where the complainant is?
No, ma'am. No, I don't know what the complaint is for. My probation officer, Marissa Jimenez, told me she had spoke to her, that she was gonna contact y'all to see what about my GPS removal.
Yeah, I just see that we attempted to contact even her emergency contact, and we weren't able to get a hold of her through there. Numbers disconnected and no new numbers found. So.
All right, so State, how do you feel about the removal of the GPS?
Judge, if you'll give me a moment to look at the facts of the underlying case, I'd be able to give a more informed decision.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
So just give us a moment, Mr. Ponce.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. All right, Albert Gutierrez, let me look at your case and see what's going on.
Thank you, Judge.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes.
I was wondering how I could enter breakout room number 12
Okay, let me ask you this. Why do you want to enter breakout room number 12?
with because you had said for me and Alfred to join it. Alfred Ramirez.
No, I didn't request that you go to breakout room number 12. Your attorney's in number 12. Has your attorney requested you to go to 12?
No, I just thought you had said for me to.
No, I
Sorry.
did not. Thank you. All right, Albert, on your client, I see on November 15th, there's a motion to modify conditions of bond. Do you know, is your client required to be on GPS? Because if he's required to be on GPS, then that may be the issue.
I think he is, Your Honor, because we had the motion to reduce bond earlier in the year, probably May. And there's a recollection, not only on my part, but my client's part, that you would waive the fees for GPS. So we're assuming that it's GPS. I just don't have those conditions in front of me, Judge.
All right, so that's what I think the issue is. If he's on GPS and he wants to go to, where is he supposed to be going?
Portland, Texas, Your Honor.
That's the problem. They can't have him on GPS if he's in Portland, Texas. So I think that's why they're probably not releasing him.
Is there something about Portland that?
No, I mean, they don't do GPS when it's out of county. At least not even out of state. That's the court's understanding. But if you would like to speak with, Norma, can you get someone in here from GPS?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So just give me one moment and we'll find out if there's something we can do about that. And Mr. Emmanuel Leos, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Probation will meet you there and go over your new conditions.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ed Camara.
Judge, yes, can you send me back to breakout room with Micah Sanders?
He's now in breakout room number 3. As soon as he comes out of breakout room number 3,
Okay,
I'll let him know that you wish to speak to him, and I'm going to assign you to breakout room number 2.
thank you.
You're welcome. Austin Hagee?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Yes, what's happening with your case? You're not in the breakout room anymore.
Oh, yes, Your Honor. We've conferred with the state. We're in agreement on a couple of motions that we have, but I wanted to go over the specifics of that.
All right, so it's a motion to allow for relocation of GPS bond condition.
Yes, Your Honor. And then a motion for partial GPS with work
All right,
release.
Who's the prosecutor you were conferring with?
Michelle Hayden.
Okay, just one moment. Brenda is working. All right. Court is calling 2021 CR 1424 State of Texas versus Eric Della Riva. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michelle Hayden for the state.
For the defense?
Austin Hagee for the defense.
And are you Mr. Della Riva?
Mr. Della Riva, this is your time to speak up.
Yes.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Della Riva, do you have any objection to this hearing taking place by video?
No.
All right, the defense has has filed a motion to allow relocation for GPS bond conditions. State, have you had a chance to review the defense's motion?
I have, Your Honor.
And State, are you ready to proceed?
I am.
All right, defense, it's your motion. You may proceed.
Your Honor, my client has an apartment in Houston. Right now, he's staying with a family member here in Bexar County. That apartment also has his work from home equipment. He makes T-shirts. He has a T-shirt business. He's also bought into a larger piece of equipment to help him make those T-shirts. He's trying to get home to his apartment in Houston so he can continue with his business and also live in his apartment out of his aunt's house. I don't know how much longer she wants him to stay there.
All right, so here's the issue that we're having. Has anyone contacted GPS to see if GPS will transfer to Houston unless the state is requesting that GPS be removed?
No, Your Honor, we're still requesting GPS. So, I mean, this is assuming that he can be monitored the same way he would if this was in San Antonio.
So as both parties have heard, Mr. Gutierrez has a client who is trying to be transferred, but he is on GPS and it's not being allowed because GPS is not monitoring. So I can order that his GPS be transferred to Houston, but GPS may end up saying no, that it cannot be because they will not monitor from Houston. So does anyone wish to contact GPS? They should be coming in here shortly.
We can talk to him when we get here. And I apologize. I think we were in the breakout room when that conversation took place.
Oh, no problem. No, so what we're going to do, then we will continue this hearing. We're trying to get someone in here from GPS so we can see whether or not the GPS can in fact be transferred to another city or county.
Okay.
We can pause the hearing, Brenna. I remember in my practice, what I would have to do is I would have to call whatever city my client was going to be transferred to and see if I can get them to monitoring him or her there on GPS. So that may be the situation here. We will find out.
Okay. And that won't be a problem if we need to do that prior to him relocating.
Okay, so everyone, we're just waiting for someone from GPS to zoom in. All right, Jay, yes, Albert Gutierrez.
Your Honor, it's an unrelated case, but I do have a client on GPS who's in Lubbock, out of your courtroom, and I don't need to say his name, but we've been in here a few times on him, so I know they can do it in certain places, certainly at least Lubbock. Yeah. I'm letting the court know.
All right, thank you. And what is your client's? What's the name of the place where he wishes to go?
It's Portland, Texas, Your Honor.
Portland, maybe they think it's Portland, Oregon.
Maybe.
So we're gonna find an answer before we leave here today, and everybody's gonna learn something new. You know, my grandmother always said, "You're not living if you're not learning something new every day." So we're gonna find out what's happening with GPS.
Excuse me, Your Honor. My people actually talked to the GPS people, and they told him that a court order has to be issued. That was the only way that it was going to happen. But they said
no, there was a court order, but we shall see. We're going to find out, Mr. Barbosa.
Thank you.
We will leave here, and everyone here will be super educated on GPS. All right, Jay Moritz.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
We're ready on Mr. Aguilar, Hector Aguilar of the MTR.
All right, did you all do paperwork?
There's going to withdraw the MTR, Judge.
All right.
And they're going to request the probation office is making some recommendations. The state is a little iffy on some of the recommendations, but we're in agreement not to revoke them, but to amend. So it's going to.
So are they withdrawing the motion? Or are we hearing the motion?
They'll be withdrawing the motion. We can plead true to the non-reporting if needed, Judge.
All right.
This was Meredith, the ADA Judge.
All right, your client is not on the screen. Let's make sure.
Was there.
Because it's Hector Aguilar, right?
Yes, Judge, he was on. I talked to him in the breakout room. He might
Right,
still be in breakout room.
No, he's not in the breakout room. Let me
And
see.
he's in custody, so
Let me see. Let me bring him back. I found him. You know, if everybody could see everything that I see on the screen as a host, people are all over the place. Mr. Aguilar, can you unmute?
Yes, Your Honor.
and I guess you'll be bringing in Meredith, Judge. I just wanted to make sure that she verifies what we discussed, so I'm not misrepresenting anything.
No, I mean, you're an officer of the court. I'm taking your word. It's true that they're gonna, that they want to withdraw the motion. Mr. Aguilar,
Yes, Your Honor.
the state is saying that they want to withdraw this motion. This is what I want you to understand. How old are you?
21.
21?
Yes, Your Honor.
When was your birthday?
My birthday's coming up. It's December 30th.
Okay, it's December 30th. Do you want to spend your 22nd birthday in prison?
No, ma'am, I don't.
All right, so you're gonna have to do better.
Yes.
Sometimes people forget things, right? And let me explain something to you. What you're charged with, you know what the range of punishment is if you were sentenced to prison?
Yes, 10 years.
No.
5 to 99, actually.
Yes, or life. So do you want to be a person who's spending maybe 20, maybe 30 years in prison?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
So each time you're out in the free world, you need to ask yourself, is me missing reporting? Should I miss reporting? If I miss reporting, what's the potential that could happen? And the potential that could happen is that you could go to prison for up to life, or 20 years, or 30 years. You do the math. What you're charged with is an aggravated offense. So if you were to get sentenced to 20 years, you have to do 15 years flat. So that means 15 years, day for day. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
And 15 plus 21, last time I checked, that's 36.
Yes.
Or you could end up getting sentenced to 40 years. 40 plus 21, 61 years. And you'd have to do 20 before you're out. So 21 plus 20 is 41. Jay, I still have some math skills. You know, once you become an attorney, sometimes you lose your math skills.
That's correct.
And I'm not taking it as true, but they have the possession of marijuana. You need to ask yourself, is me using marijuana, is that worth going to prison over? You got I'm looking at these motions. You got to get in court. You understand? And you got to report.
He is, Judge. We've got the employment. Now he was going to plead true to not reporting. She was going to ask, withdrawing or denying. She was going to ask the court to deny the motion and amend conditions. So I wanted to be on the same page.
No, but
and,
here's
and
the
if
thing.
you wanted to talk to her, that's fine. But
here's the thing, though. All right, if she is withdrawing the motion, I want your client to realize how close he is to going to prison. You understand that, Mr. Aguilar?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
yes, Judge.
So if you don't straighten up, if you don't fly right, you're probably going to end up going to prison. And guess what? You have 2 cases. So you're on this deferred adjudication for 10 years. Get your life together. Now is the time. You should have got your life together when you didn't know if you were going to prison for these offenses or not. So you're being given a chance to get your life together.
Yes, ma'am.
And whether or not you get it together or not, that depends on you. So don't
Judge,
come back here saying that you didn't have a chance. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. I won't
Judge,
be
did you see the recommendation from Ms. Reyes?
No.
It said to amend the conditions to include local ISF, but held in abeyance, biweekly urinalysis until he completes the outpatient, which he didn't complete. He needs to complete it.
All right, let me see. Is that, Ms. Reyes, my understanding they're withdrawing the motion?
That was probation's recommendation. Is that what they plan on amending his conditions for?
No, this is what I'm gonna want. I'm gonna want him to call the UA hotline. And Mr. Aguilar, you're not under oath, but I want you to be honest with me because I'm trying to give you what you need in order to complete everything successfully. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So are you using marijuana?
No, I was during that period of time.
Okay, let's not stop. Let's not go with I was, right? Because what I'm looking at on your motion to revoke, it says you committed the offense of possession. So I'm trying to figure out where you are so that I won't have to see you again for violating your conditions of probation. I'm hoping I'll see you because you've gotten your life in order and you're doing what needs to be done. So when's the last time you used marijuana?
Been months, couple of months.
All right, and do you have children?
Yes, I have 3. My son was just born about a month ago.
All right, here's the thing. I've already said that you to do parenting. He used to do parenting classes with compadre y compadre. And I can't stop anyone for having children. Please, people want to be fruitful and multiply, then do that. But here's the thing. Stop bringing children into your nonsense. And your life is chaos at this moment. And when I say it's chaos at this moment, you're on probation and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And you're continuing to bring children into this chaos. You understand? You got to get your life together.
Sure.
So I'm going to want, I want him to do the UA hotline, and I want him to do the UA hotline for at least a month. And make sure that they're doing field visits. And I'm going to want field visits random 2 times per month. And Mr. Moritz, you say he already has employment?
Yes, Judge, he's been working steadily. He just never got it to the probation officer. He's been working for Never Tire Safety since 12/23/20. And the last time he worked was on 6/28/21 when he got arrested, is my understanding.
All right, Mr. Aguilar.
I think he can go back. Is that correct, Mr. Aguilar?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Aguilar, you had better start reporting what you're doing to probation, because if you're not reporting it to them, that means for the record, you're not doing it. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So right now, your trust level is at 0. You're trying to build up your trust, right?
Yes,
And in
Your
order to do that, you need to have paperwork to back up everything that you're telling us. And the other thing you're going to do is you're going to do weekly reporting. And that's can be by Zoom. Do you have a phone where you can do it by Zoom?
Yes, Your Honor. I do.
All right, you're going to do it by Zoom or either in person. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Rebecca, that's going to be until further notice. You better get your act together, because if you don't, how much time could you go to prison for?
Live.
And do you want that?
No, Your Honor.
When you get out of prison, your children will be grown. They won't know you. They'll be calling somebody else daddy. You understand?
Yes, I do.
And Meredith, Marcus, my understanding is that Meredith on this case, she was agreeing to withdraw the motion.
Okay.
And that is on Hector Aguilar.
Okay.
And then Ed Camara wants to speak to you again. He's in number 2.
Okay.
And Mr. Aguilar, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4. I'm sorry, let me send you to number 5 so it'll pop up. Mr. Moritz, you can go to number 5 with your client. And Rebecca, if you could go to number 5 and go over new conditions with Mr. Aguilar.
And Meredith is on right now.
Meredith,
Yes, Judge.
on Mr. Aguilar, Mr. Moritz said that you are withdrawing the motion.
That's not what I understood it to be. I was for a plea, and then we were agreed as to the court denying it, but not necessarily agreed on what future conditions could be.
Okay, so this is what we'll do, Mr. Moritz. If you have your client fill out the
Okay,
paperwork.
I tried to clarify with.
Oh, no, that's fine, Mr. Moritz. It happens. So Ms. Ferguson is going to give you paperwork and we'll go on the record.
Well, I told you she was requested it be denied. And
oh, Mr. Moritz, that's fine. I take what you say is true. Yeah, that's not a problem. I'm going to send you to number 5. And if you get paperwork will be sent to you and your client. Norma, if you can give them a trial court certification. Well, really just a consent to plea form, and we'll take that matter up. All right, Denny Callahan.
May I have Mr. Farnsworth as the defendant, please?
All right, Mr. Farnsworth, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 10. John Winter.
Yeah, Judge. So on Dennis Trejo, Meredith and I have conferred. Since there's a victim in here, she wants the opportunity to talk to the victim. I'd like the opportunity to kind of look into the case a little bit more. So it's a first setting. We're just asking for it to be moved to the next setting.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Trejo in the chat box, please? All right, we're going to come back on January 4th.
Okay, Judge.
2022, John. Whoever thought we'd be saying that.
I'm not ready for it.
All right, and where is your Mr. Trejo? You need
I'm
to
here,
make
Judge.
sure, yes, you need to make sure your video works next time. And if you can't get your video working, you're going to have to appear in court.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're excused. Thank you, Mr. Winter.
Thank you, Judge.
Michael Latimer.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. I've conferred with Mr. Garcia. We have some discovery issues that he's going to provide me some additional discovery. There's some issues regarding some of the outcry statements that we'll work out. And that's about it.
And are there CPS records involved with this case, Mr. Garcia?
Judge, I'll look into that. At this time, I don't know.
Okay, thank you. Norma, could you give me a date for Fidel Ayala for discovery? 1 month, please. All right, we're going to come back on January 4th.
I may still have a headache on the 4th, but that's okay.
All right, thank you. See you in the new year.
Yeah, can I speak to my client briefly?
Yes.
We can. Thank you.
Let me see, where is your, there he is. All right. Mr. Ayala, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6, and you can be excused from that room. Your next court date will be January 4th, 2022.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. And Mr. Latimer, you can go back to that breakout room. You're still showing there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Rochelle Acevedo.
Yes, Judge.
Yes. So on Marshall, it's a status on DDRF. So he was not accepted. So the only things that are available are SafeP or ISF. And since they're saying they want to transfer him to SafeP or ISF, I could see if we could see maybe whether or not felony drug court would accept him. If you want to try that first, Ms. Acevedo.
Can I confer with my client and see if
Yes. Mr. Marshall, I'm going to send you, let me see what breakout room. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Judge, on that Ponce GPS removal, I had a couple questions.
Yes.
What is it that he wants to, is it just for working purposes? I was reading that motion. Is that the?
Oh, no, he wants full GPS removal.
Okay. I would be agreeable to tracking, but I would not be agreeable to full removal based on the fact that he was charged with several violations of protective orders while this case was pending. So we're fine with tracking, but I don't want it removed at this time.
All right, Mr. Ponce,
Yes, ma'am.
then your GPS will be for tracking only. The fees?
It's already been on tracking for the 3 months that you said, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, already been on
What's going
tracking.
to end up happening, Mr. Ponce, the state is not in agreement to removal of your GPS. So if you want to have an attorney to have a hearing on that, or if we can get the complainant in, or the complainant by Zoom, of course, not you contacting a complainant, what I can do is we can reset this.
Yes, because I was on house arrest for like 6 to 7 months, and what's called and then I got off of my GPS because of my pretrial. Officer told me to, and then I went back to my probation, and she told me to get it back on for 2 more months, but it was going to be tracking only. And what's called when I got it on, I had to pay a $300 fee, and I paid the month before that, which was accumulated to $600. Because they said that they don't do no waive fees. So now I've been on it for 3 months, and I have a paper stating that you said I can be on it for 3 more months, and for me being able to work and coming back home. So that's what's, and they want to charge me $550 for having it on still.
All right,
And
so
that's
here's
what I
the thing,
already had
Mr.
paid,
Ponce,
yeah.
this is what I always tell people. Let's not come forth like we haven't done anything to be on GPS, because if I put somebody on GPS, there's a reason.
No, yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're on deferred adjudication for assault, choking, strangulation. That's a pretty serious matter, because what that means is you're choking somebody, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to reset this, and we're going to see if we can get in contact with the complainant, because I have to make sure that the complainant is going to be safe, that the complainant is aware that this is what is happening or what may happen. You understand?
Yeah, ma'am.
All right, Norma, on Mr. Ponce, can I have a 1-month reset, please?
Excuse me, Your Honor, can y'all, because I know you said to waive the fees, but I had paid for it to be installed $300, and the month prior to that, me having it on, and that was $600, which I could have paid already in my probation. But what's called, when I went to turn in the paper for the RMS, they told me that they don't accept no waive fees. I've been having trouble with all of that. That they right now, all I know, I owe like $550. And and I have your conditions papers. I went to go print it out on the office or probation office, and I went to go try to turn it in, and they didn't allow it. So I tried to get in contact with my probation officer. She was in contact with her supervisor to email them to tell them that I don't owe nothing. But it's been like a big issue since I've been
All right,
here.
we'll take care of that.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome.
Yeah. So I get in contact with my probation officer, and I ask her to reach out to the victims to see if we can get this motion moved, or how do I?
Just 1 second. So what we're going to do is we're going to recall this for January 4th. If you want to have an attorney to have it heard sooner than that, you can.
What's coming in my attorney?
Yes.
Sorry, I am. Yeah, the attorney that I used to have, do I will still have him on my attorney thing, or I'll have to get a whole new attorney?
You'd have to get another attorney. So what we're going to do is we're going to recall it for that date. The state is that'll give the state enough time to contact the complaining witness so that she is aware of the fact that you're asking for removal of GPS. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. And can you please, ma'am, see what the whole issue that it is with the whole money thing? I paid $300 to get, yeah.
Just give me a moment.
Sorry.
And Ms. Wilkes, can you see if you all can make further attempts to contact the complainant to inform the complainant that Mr. Ponce is seeking removal from GPS?
We will make another attempt. Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, because according to my probation officer, she said that she had got a hold of her, and I don't know if she emailed you to let you know that she did.
Time out. So Mr. Ponce, stop giving information that's not been asked.
Okay, sorry.
All right. So, and then as soon as probation comes out, I'll send you to speak with probation about your fee. Norma, do you have any update on the people from GPS?
No, ma'am, they were supposed to be logging in. I sent them to the Zoom link, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Judge, they said they're on. It's Jessica Mock.
Okay. Jessica Mock. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. There's an issue with Albert Gutierrez's client, Mr. Barbosa. He's not being released, and they say the reason he's not being released is because of the GPS, and he's supposed to be going to Portland, Texas. Is there an issue with that?
So we need for them to live outside Bexar County, 75 miles. We would need a court order from you or the assigned court allowing him to live outside the county.
All right, Mr. Gutierrez. I signed your court order, but I guess in your court order, it doesn't say that he's living in the order, it doesn't say that he's living in Portland, Texas. Just give me a moment. To the clerks, could I have a B page on Christopher Barbosa, please? And who's the prosecutor on Barbosa?
Marcus Sanders, Your Honor.
Marcus Sanders, are you there? Just give me one moment.
He's in the breakout room, Judge.
All right. Mr. Gutierrez, the court is signing the motion that Mr. Barbosa is allowed to reside in Portland, Texas. Mr. Barbosa, what that means is you got to stay in Portland, Texas. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I was wondering, what about work? Because I work, I have a roofing company, and my buddy has a remodeling company. I help him, he helps me. How's that going to work out?
Your attorney will have to file a motion on that. Because
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
believe there's, Mr. Gutierrez, did you file a motion allowing him to work?
I did not, Your Honor.
No, actually you did. I'm reading the motion and the court checked that the defendant is allowed to attend work as reported to and verified by pretrial services.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Ms. Mock, is there anything else that you need as far as his order is concerned, other than that he's allowed to reside in Portland, Texas?
I'm guessing the clerks will send it over when you have the opportunity, and then we can work on getting him released. We've already verified everything, so we just need to receive that order.
All right, thank you. I'll have it sent over right now.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, next
Your Honor.
thing.
May I be excused?
Just 1 second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So you are reset for December 3rd. That's the next date we have for you to come back.
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Norma, can you let them know that Mr. Barbosa 16B can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
And now we're back on Austin Hagee's case.
Here you are.
Yes. So that's cleared things up.
Think so.
Yes, I'm hoping it has. So, and who was the prosecutor on this?
Michelle
Your
Hayden.
Honor, Michelle Hayden.
All right, Ms. Hayden, do you have any objection to him being allowed to relocate his GPS?
No objection to relocation, and we don't have an objection to work release. We would just ask that he have a curfew, like 6 o'clock, something like that, and that he provide a work schedule as well.
Okay. Mr. Della Riva,
Yes.
what's your work schedule?
It's usually in the mornings.
All right. So state what curfew time are you requesting?
I would just, I mean, it depends somewhat on his work schedule, but I would say I'd want him home by 6 o'clock. You know, I don't think, I'm sure he can find a job that is normal business hours.
Your Honor.
Yes.
If I could just ask, whatever the schedule is, if you could just have an hour to get there and get home, just in case it might be shift work. I don't know exactly what kind of job he's going to find.
All right, so what ends up happening, what I can tell you, Mr. Hagee, is that when I receive violations of GPS, I will receive a violation report, and what will end up happening is I will set that report for a hearing and we can see what the issue was. I don't just sign off on violation reports.
Okay.
Unless, Brenda, there's always an exception, unless there's a new offense alleged.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. All right, so I'm gonna set the curfew at 6 p.m. Mr. Della Riva, I'm putting this in this order, but it goes without question that I don't allow people who have charges pending to be home healthcare providers or to work with minors.
Okay.
All right, the next thing is, have you received any discovery on this case yet, Mr. Hagee?
Yes, Your Honor, we have a good amount of discovery. It doesn't appear that we're missing anything at this point in time.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 1-month reset on Mr. Della Riva, please? All right, we're gonna come back on January 4th, 2022 at 9 a.m.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. May we be
You're welcome.
excused?
Yes. And those orders shall be in the system later today.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Denny Callahan?
I have the prosecutor again, Mr. Garcia, please.
All right, Garcia. All right, I'll send you to number 11. Joe Ray, if you could meet him in 11, please.
Yes, Judge.
Rebecca, if you could meet Mr. Ponce in number 1, he has some issues as far as payment with the GPS. He says they will not accept his payment for some reason.
Is he gonna continue with that, Judge, or?
Yes, this case is going to be recalled for January 4th. For this, to give the state a chance to check with the complainant.
Okay.
Sure. All right, Robert Porter. Mr. Ponce, you need to go to that breakout room I assigned you to. Yes, Robert Porter.
That is me, Your Honor.
Yes, hello.
How you doing? I'm
All
juggling. I'm juggling here. I need to speak with Mr. Curry.
Okay. Mr. Curry.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you.
Jay Moritz.
Here, Judge.
Hi. So let me see if I have the document.
All we signed was the waiver and consent to proceed by video conference.
Okay.
It should have been 2, Jay.
Yes, there was two of them.
Yes, I've already signed it.
2 waivers and consent.
All right. Denny Callahan, you're back.
I have Mr. Farnsworth again. We have an agreement, I believe. I want to confirm it.
All right, I'll send you to number 10.
Thank you.
And who's the prosecutor on Jay Moritz's client? I believe it's Meredith.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Let's see if this will work, Brenna. I get so excited when it actually works. All right, let me see. I think your client is still in the breakout room.
I think it was 5 that we were in.
Okay, I'm trying to move him to the main session, then we'll take up this matter. All right, court is calling 2019 CR 1152 and 2019 CR 1153, State of Texas versus Hector Aguilar. Can I have the parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Jay Moritz, Your Honor, for the defense.
All right, and are you Mr. Aguilar? I need you to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Aguilar, did you review and sign a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video? Did you
Yes.
understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video in each of the cause numbers. And each of the cause numbers, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Probation, and states motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke probation. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
And cause number 2019 CR 1152, are you the same Hector Aguilar who's placed on deferred adjudication for the offense of aggravated robbery on January 24, 2020 for a period of 10 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you the same Hector Aguilar who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 1153 for the offense of aggravated robbery on January 24, 2020 for a period of 10 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the same allegation in each motion?
Yes, we are, Judge.
Defense, any objection to the state reading the allegation once and your client answering for each motion?
I think she was going to read just violation number 2, Judge.
No, that's what I'm saying. She's going to read the violation one time and your client's answer will be for both motions. Do you have any objections to the court proceeding in that manner?
No, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Okay, from the supplemental motion, on or about the 17th day of August 21 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Hector Aguilar, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that in each of the motions, Mr. Aguilar? True or not true?
True.
State.
We'll waive the other violations, Judge.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Aguilar, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2 in each motion, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine in each of the cause numbers? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2 in each of the cause numbers?
Yes.
All right, the court will find the violation of condition number 2 true in each of the cause numbers. Is there an agreement?
Yes, somewhat, Judge, in the sense that we both are in agreement to ask this court to deny the motion and continue him on his deferred adjudication. The issue is what exact conditions we're going to alter and amend and add. Probation is recommending ISF held in abeyance, biweekly UAs until the completion of his outpatient treatment. It's the state's understanding that this court altered and amended his conditions back in June after the TAP eval to include outpatient treatment. But I believe once he picked up an out-of-county case, which prevents him, I guess, from being transferred to ISF, things just kind of stalled. And so I don't know if he's eligible for any inpatient treatment with a pending case, but it was the state's position that given his inability to complete the outpatient and failure to test and things like that, that we would be asking for some sort of inpatient. Now, if he's not eligible and we're going to have something kind of pending out there and he's going to be staying in the Bexar County Jail, then I'll go along with, I guess, with what probation recommended.
All right, does he have a pending case, Mr. Moritz?
Yes, it's a possession of marijuana, 0 to 2 ounces, out of Kendall County. And I don't have anything in either one of the motions where it says he failed to complete the outpatient treatment. I don't think it got set up yet.
No. Didn't know anything about that.
Or he failed. There's no allegations of that in any of the motions.
All right, Mr. Aguilar, where are you going to be living?
In my apartment, I have an apartment with my girlfriend and my kids.
Okay.
That's still in Von Army, right? Correct?
No, it's 2133 West Popular.
That's in Bexar County?
Yes.
All right. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court will follow your agreement denying the motion, but the court is going to order the UA hotline, and he's going to continue with that UA hotline until he's accepted into felony drug court. There's going to be weekly Zoom reporting or in person until further notice. You're going to start your parenting classes. Have you started those, Mr. Aguilar?
Yes, I had completed them already.
Well, I mean, probation doesn't have that you've completed. They haven't told me. Did you turn in the information to probation that
Yes,
you've
ma'am.
completed them?
Yes, I did. But I had a different probation officer at the time. I don't know.
All right, you need to make sure that they have that. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And we're going to do field visits, random, 3 times per month. Is there anything else that the state would recommend?
No, Judge.
All right, so here's the thing, Mr. Aguilar. That case that's in that other county, that needs to be taken care of. And
Yes.
until that case is taken care of, you're going to be doing the UA hotline and weekly reporting.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I don't want any positive UAs from you. Your children are depending on you. And each time you go away, that breaks their heart. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because now your child doesn't know where you are.
Yes.
And hopefully you're not trying to set up visits for them at the jail. Because
No.
when you set up for children visits with children at the jail, you know what ends up happening? They start thinking that's the way of life.
I agree.
Those need to be put in the system. All right, if there is nothing else, we'll close the record. Remember what I said, Mr. Aguilar, how much time are you looking at if you don't successfully complete this?
To life in prison.
All right, and you don't want somebody else, your children to be calling somebody else father, do you?
No, I didn't.
All right, just wait right here and I'm gonna make sure that you go to speak with probation as soon as they're ready. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Moritz, if you don't have anything else with us, you are excused.
Okay, did you want me to go with probation briefly with him?
Sure.
Can I just go with him just to double check if he needs any questions or anything?
Yes, just give me one moment.
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Aguilar, I'm gonna send you and your attorney to breakout room number 1. Be patient when you go there.
Okay.
And everyone, just give me a moment, please.
Thank you, Judge. Have a great day.
Robert Porter.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Yes.
I see Brenna. I don't see you. Okay, can you hear me, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay, I was trying to chat David Lunan and Marcus. Are they in breakout rooms?
All right, let me see. Marcus is in a breakout room. And let me see where David Martin is.
No, it's Lunan.
I'm sorry, David Lunan, thank you.
I know that case, and I would be happy to stand in for Mr. Lunan until he's able to get.
Same
All right.
here. I conferred earlier, so.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Porter, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
And Judge, I'm back on Mr. Marshall.
Yes.
Can I confer with one of the prosecutors?
Yes, is it criminal trial division or family violence?
I think it's CTD. It's an ag assault.
Okay.
I don't think it's an 701.
All right. So I'm going to send you to number 5. Denny Callahan. You're on mute.
Have an agreement.
Okay. All right. As soon as I receive the paperwork, then we will take that matter up.
All right.
We are back. I don't know if there's anybody there for me to report to.
Oh, yes.
Hi,
Mr.
Judge.
Martin. Hi.
I have conferred with Meredith McIntyre, who has not seen the case. He was just arrested like 3 weeks ago. There's a lot of videos to look at. I've told her what my position is on the case. She's going to review the file and see if we can get an offer.
All right, Norman, can I have a 1 month reset for Mr. Bill, please? And Norman, you know, January 4th is our trial day. All right, we're going to come back on January 4th.
January 4th.
2022.
I will be in a jury trial on that day. I'm picking a jury on the 3rd, Your Honor.
Okay. Norma, I need a new date. All right, we'll come back on January 10th.
I have a federal setting in Austin that day, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to keep it for January 4th and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
All righty.
Can I stay on the 10th? Because I know that jury trial will go. The federal court answer I may be able to do something with.
Okay. All right, we'll put you for the 10th.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Have a great day, Judge.
All right, you too.
Good.
Mr. Bill, you're excused. You need to come back on January 10th.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes, Mr. Marshall.
My attorney, he's in room 5. He's waiting on somebody.
Mr. Marshall, you need to be patient. You understand? Michael. Ed Camara, you're back. You're on mute.
Judge, I'm kind of halfway back. I'm in the process of signing things.
Okay.
Okay. I'm kind of like Ed Ogeron.
Okay, see, now you're trying to make my Monday not be, well, it's sort of happy Monday. At least we'll have a new coach. So,
It might get worse.
you know, it can't. I don't know if it could get any worse.
Trust me.
Maybe we'll have to take the coach from UTSA.
Yeah. And the team.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go back to work.
All right, thank you. Norma, Fidel Ayala, why is he here? Mr. Ayala, why are you here?
I was under the impression that I was going to be having a preliminary hearing today.
No, that was, you were given a reset for discovery and your court date was reset for January 4th.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, ma'am.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you.
What if you buy a Home Depot, 500?
All right, and is there a prosecutor available from Criminal Trial Division to go to breakout room number 5? It's with Rochelle Acevedo on Marshall. All right, Alfred Ramirez. Alfred Ramirez,
Yes, Judge.
yes.
I conferred with Marcus Sanders, Mr. Sanders, and we have an agreement on an order. And Mr. Sanders, I believe, said he had emailed it to you.
All right, let me see if the printer will work. All right, and it's only for this one motion because he has two cases.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I guess I'm not sure if the GPS, I'm assuming it was assigned on both cases.
We
thought it
will
was-
find out.
Okay, I
I
thought it
think
was
it's
just
only
this
on the
one.
one.
I thought it was only on the one, because on the other one, I filed a motion to sub. If you can, Tony Jimenez was the court appointed attorney. I've conferred with him. I think he signed off on the order also. If you can sign that so I can have access to the discovery and all the information on that case.
All right, I need to see where that motion is because I don't have it.
Okay.
To the clerks, do you have the motion on Fernando Carmona, the motion to substitute?
I can email it if it's easier to.
Yes, if you could email it to me.
Alfred, did you get my email, Alfred?
Yes, I did.
Okay. The judge's email is in there.
Okay.
Judge, I just sent you a chat.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, as soon as I receive that, Mr. Ramirez, I will sign that. And then if there is nothing else, you and your client are excused.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Thank you. Let me get this. Thank you. Mr. Ramirez, the clerks just brought it to me, so I have it. And Mr. Fernando Carmona, you can sign off.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Rebecca, did you finish with Mr. Aguilar?
Marcus, will you go into break room 3 for issue about bond with Robert Porter, please?
Mr. Callahan, do you need to go in the breakout room with your client to sign the paperwork?
All right, please.
You're already assigned to there. He's in there.
All right.
Is Norma there? Norma, can I talk to you?
Yes. Did you need something, Mr. Camara?
Yeah, the documents for the consent and deferred adjudication application, I signed it, but it won't go through for some reason. It keeps nothing happens. There's no
All right. If you could go to number 8 and Miss Ferguson will meet you in 8.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Ms. Acevedo?
Yes, Judge. So we briefly conferred, and I think, I mean, obviously it's court's discretion, but unfortunately, Judge, my client is actually from Harris County, so I don't think that felony drug court is even an option. So in discussing both, I did talk about each with him, and he's asking the court to consider the ISF.
Okay.
And Judge, there's a cognitive track, and Rebecca was telling us that for both ISF cognitive as well as safety special needs, there is a wait. I don't know the exact amount of time, but there is a wait.
All right, so let's do this. Ms. Acevedo, do you believe that the ISF would be a better track for your client?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, so let's see, let's place him alternate main conditions. Sorry, there's noise. Let's alternate main conditions for ISF. And Ms. Acevedo, we're going to give a reset for 30 days just to make sure that the transfer has taken place.
Okay.
And Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Marshall? Mr. Marshall, is there an issue? Is there an issue, Mr. Marshall? Yeah, I don't know what his problem is. He needs boot camp, but we don't have boot camp anymore. So it's going to be ISF, and we're going to come back on January 4th, and we'll see where we are.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And your client seems to have an attitude issue. I don't know why people come here. He's on deferred adjudication for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And then people act like they don't want to do conditions, and they're upset because there's a wait time for conditions when no one told you to pick up an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. If Mr. Marshall had not picked up an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, we wouldn't be here. So if he doesn't want to do ISF, then what can end up happening is he can be revoked, and his range of punishment is up to 20 years in the prison. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send him to breakout room number 1. And Ms. Acevedo, I need you to go to number 1 with him. And if he's not behaving appropriately, we're going to have issues.
Yeah, sure.
All right, Norma, can you let them know that Mr. Marshall, who now has a major attitude, needs to go to breakout room number 1?
Judge, can we be excused from there, or do you want him to come back?
He'll have to come back to the main room to be excused.
Okay.
Judge, I just came on to hear, so.
We're going to do ISF, cognitive.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Porter.
There you go. Hello, Your Honor.
Hi.
I've got an update on 3 cases. I'll start with the easiest one first. Mr. Diaz, he is not on Zoom with us. I am in contact with him. He's having issues getting on Zoom. However, that case is going to be dismissed.
Okay, just 1 second. And that's Ralph Diaz.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and do you know when that's going to be dismissed?
As soon as Mr. Sanders gives you the dismissal.
Okay.
I'm working on it right now.
All right, thank you. Let me find him on the docket. All right, next.
Okay, and on Mr. Jones, Melvin Jones.
Yes.
Okay. He has rejected the offer, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, you are breaking up.
Yeah, every time I turn sideways to look at something, you can't hear. I got to look right at my screen or I can't talk. Sorry. Mr. Jones, he's rejected the offers and we need a trial date. And then there's issues with this bond, Your Honor.
Okay, and have motions been filed for the issues with the bond?
I'm going to, I just talked to DAs about agreements as far as bond reductions. And so I wanted to get those.
All right, and are there agreements?
There is, Judge.
All right, so if you all can email me the agreements and the court will sign those agreements.
Okay. Do you need that in a motion form or just the email or what?
If you can email it to me, if there's not going to be any objections to make it move quicker, if you'll email it to me, and what I'll do is I'll have the court coordinators print out the B pages and I'll put it in there.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right, so on Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, can you unmute for me, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Jones, your plea deadline date has expired. So the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after today. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So we're coming up where this case will be in this court for a year. I know there was some issue with us having jury trials because of the pandemic.
Yes.
So we're starting up with jury trials again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to recall you back for December. That December date, you'll be able to appear by Zoom if you're released from custody. If you're not released from custody, then we will have you by Zoom from the jail. But we're going to recall you for a date in December. And at that December date, I will give you your jury trial date. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a date for Mr. Jones in December?
Thank you, Mr. Doto.
Just one moment. All right, so Mr. Jones, we're going to come back on your case on December 14th. And that is the date for me to give you your jury trial date. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about anything?
We was
Can I talk to Mr. Jones real quick about that bond issue so he'll understand what's going on, Judge?
Sure, just give me 1 second though. So Mr. Jones, we're going to come back on December 14th. December 14th, you'll be given your actual jury trial date. And what will end up happening is you'll need to be dressed for trial on the new jury trial date that I give you. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and I'm going to send you to a breakout room so you can speak with your attorney.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Porter.
Oh, I'd add one more.
Okay, Mr. Jones, go to breakout room number 2. Your attorney will meet you there shortly. And your other client is Mr. Curry?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, what is happening with Mr. Curry?
On Mr. Curry, we rejected the offers and the state and I have agreed that we are open to bench trials.
Okay. All right, and who is the state?
Marcus Sanders.
All right, and Mr. Sanders, you both are in agreement to a bench trial?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so as soon as Ms. Ferguson comes out of the breakout room, we will give you your bench trial date, Mr. Curry. And states you'll be able to confer on a date so you can make sure that you have your witnesses available.
Okay, thank you.
And defense so you can have your witnesses. Norma, on Mr. Curry, both parties have agreed to a bench trial.
Okay.
So what date are we looking at?
Sometime in January, Judge.
All right. If everyone pull out your calendars. And State, how long do you anticipate your case in chief will take?
One second, Judge. Let me grab that file.
Thank you.
Judge, because it is a bench trial, I don't anticipate this case going on more than 2 days.
Okay, then maybe we can do it the week of January 16th, Norma. I know that MLK Day is on Monday. And so maybe we can we can have this case on maybe the 18th or 19th if both parties are okay with that date.
And Judge, I think it'll take 2 to 3 days.
All right. So are all parties okay with January 18th?
Yes, Your Honor.
Norma, what do we look like for January 18th?
That's fine, Judge.
Okay. All right, so tentatively we scheduled for January 18th. If that changes, we'll let you know, because I know Norma has to look at the schedule to make sure that that is a date that's okay.
Okay.
All right. All right, then, Norma, can you let them know Mr. Curry 14-0 can go back?
And then I'm going to breakout room 2, you said, Your Honor?
Yes. All right, and we have the paperwork on Mr. Farnsworth. So we will be swearing in your client.
May I address the court?
Yes.
Mr. Farnsworth wants to make sure that it's not spelled F-A-R-E-N Worth, but Farns, F-A-R-N-S Worth is his real name.
Okay.
May I address the court further?
Yes.
On the Russell middle name, he says there's only one L at the end of the name, not 2 L's.
All right, if you give me the complete spelling, it's F-A-R-E-N-W-R-T-H, is that correct?
No, ma'am. F-A-R-N-S-W-O-R-T-H.
And the middle name?
R-U-S-S-E-L.
All right, we will take care of that when I receive the paperwork. And are the parties ready on Curtis? If you're ready, I will be in the courtroom in just a moment to take up that matter.
Text him. I haven't heard back. He may be on the Zoom. There was a Zoom link sent, so I don't know if he got on the Zoom by mistake
Who
or
are you looking for, Mr. Bach?
Richard Langlois.
Yes, he's not here yet.
Yes, ma'am.
And he's not on the Zoom screen either.
Okay. I reached out to him telephonically, so.
Okay. Brenda, it's Monday. Brenda, that happens when I put you first. Who is the prosecutor on Farnsworth?
Joe Ray, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 9847, State of Texas versus Kenneth Farnsworth. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Joe Ray Garcia.
For the defense?
Denny Callahan, present, ready.
And are you Mr. Farnsworth?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Farnsworth, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Defense, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Farnsworth, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
State moves to waive the habitual enhancement paragraph on the indictment.
Any objection?
No objection.
Mr. Farnsworth, I'm going to show you a document entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're charged with is indecency with a child exposure? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call on the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Farnsworth, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is waiving the habitual enhancement paragraph. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 8 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. There are no applications. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, Chapter 62 compliance, and no contact with Vida Guzman. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Your Honor, there is. However, I let the court leave it to the court's discretion. And I did put the affirmative finding, but I don't believe there is a family finding according to the family code of any relation, consanguinity, or affinity in the report.
All right. Well, that is what you all agreed to. Are you saying that that does not qualify? Because as you know, the court has not received or seen any of the police reports in this case.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Yes, the state is saying it doesn't go under the family code.
All right. Do you understand that affirmative finding of family violence is not applicable in this case? Did you understand that, Mr. Farnsworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
So do you understand that's not part of your plea bargain agreement?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I do now. Thank you.
All right. Defense, any objection?
No objection.
All right. Then does everyone understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Your Honor.
Mr. Farnsworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense is charged in the indictment. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
Any objection?
No objection.
Mr. Farnsworth, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, the problem in this case is addiction to methamphetamine and ice takes away his judgment. Otherwise, he's a good Christian man.
Anything you wish to say, Mr. Farnsworth?
Well, pretty much what Mr. Callahan was saying. I am a Christian man. I'm a veteran, and I messed my whole life up with this drug, and I had told myself that I wasn't going to mess with methamphetamines this time when I got out, and I ended up doing that. So it's a very vital important to me to know that, well, what I did is I stepped away from God. And when you do that, you step into a whole lot worse, you know. I can't give, I know this has taught me that I can't get away from the word of God, you know, at all. I can't even think about getting away from it. I have to throw myself on the mercy of the court is all I can do. I'm not a man that will say I didn't do something if I did it, you know, and I'm pretty straightforward with everybody, and I do what is asked of me to do, and I just pray that the court will have mercy on me this time.
Mr. Farnsworth, I appreciate your honesty. I'll follow your agreement, sentence you to 8 years in prison. There's a $1,500 fine, time and money for rank concurrent, Chapter 62 compliance, no contact with Vita Guzman, credit for any time served. And if you want, I will refer you to the therapeutic community. The therapeutic community doesn't increase the amount of time you would spend at the prison, but they will be able to help you or give you the tools you need. So hopefully you don't use again. What I can tell you is this may be an offense where they won't accept you, but I know there are programs at the prison to address any drug issues you may have. Now, I can request it, but you'll need to request it as well. If you don't request it, they are not going to even consider you for placement. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there any, yes?
Your Honor, I was going to ask, throughout this time in Bexar County and the last time in Bexar County, they have my name misspelled. And I was wondering, is there any way possible that anything you could do to get the spelling of my name straightened out before I get to prison this time, so that my name is spelled correctly on my prison documents, so when I get out, I it's not so difficult to to get state identification and stuff. Because what happens is the misspelling of my name continues all the way through TDC. And then when I get out, I have a terrible time getting documents like my birth certificate and my Texas identification.
All right, so Mr. Russell, state your name for the record, and you're already under oath because the clerk has sworn you in.
Yes.
What is your full name for the record?
Kenneth, Kenneth, Russell, Russ, Sierra, E-L. Last name, Foxtrot, F.
No, stop right there.
Yes. Yes.
Brenda's gonna appreciate me for stopping you. Brenda has to take down everything that's being said.
Okay.
No. So when you do that Foxtrot whiskey thing,
Yeah, okay.
that just makes the record look horrible.
I'm
So
sorry.
trust me, if there's a letter that you're saying that she doesn't understand, she will ask you. Then you can say Fox. So
Okay,
I know
okay.
that's military, but
I understand.
so if you'll just spell your last name for her, please.
Okay. F-A-R-N as in Nancy, S-W-O-R-T-H.
Thank you. All right. Any objections from the state to the defendant's paperwork? For example, in the in the true bill of indictment, his last name is spelled F-A-R-E-N-W-O-R-T-H. Any objection to that name being corrected to F-A-R-N-S-W-O-R-T-H? Any objections from the defense?
No objection.
State, any objection to that being corrected?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Farnsworth, you understand with the name being corrected, your attorney does have a right for a continuance, but do you wish to still proceed?
I wish to proceed, yes.
So then the court will note for the record that the defendant's correct spelling is Kenneth, K-E-N-N-E-T-H, middle name Russell, R-U-S-S-E-L, last name Farnsworth, F-A-R-N-S-W-O-R-T-H, and the court is changing all of the documents to include the defendant's correct name. Next,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, you're welcome. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And if there's a question on what exactly constitutes a weapon, you'll have to have an attorney to address that. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, with that, we'll go off the record. Mr. Farnsworth, how old are you?
55, Your Honor.
All right, then you're like me. You're at that point where really more of your life is behind you than in front of you, unless you're planning to live past 100. Think that may be great if we're in great shape, but you're gonna have to start changing your ways. So if you have a drug or alcohol problem, you need to address that.
Your Honor. I do.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Farnsworth.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, with that, Mr. Callahan, you are excused.
Thank
And
you.
Normie, can you let them know L27 can go back? All right, Ms. Acevedo, you're back.
Yes, Judge. And my client has signed all the necessary paperwork for the ISF.
Okay, thank you. Then you are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Norma 16A can go back. And Mr. Camara?
Yes, we're done. We signed all the paperwork. We should be ready to enter a plea, Your Honor.
Okay. And then Mr. Porter?
Thank you, Judge. I emailed you the request for the bond reductions on Melvin Jones and Frank B. Excused.
All right, you are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, and your dismissal was signed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, do we have the paperwork on Mr. Camaro's client, Taylor, please? And Norma, Mr. Jones, 14M can go back. All right, Mr. Camaro, can you come to the breakout room with your client, Mr. Taylor?
Sure. Which room?
It's in the previous room where you were.
Okay.
All right, thank you. And after we complete this plea, then we'll take up Mr. Curtis.
Judge, I just send you a chat.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Fisher, you have a question?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
A little bit ago, you submitted a court order for Mr. Eric de la Riva, and you've
Yes.
granted him permission to reside in Houston. You also
Yes.
allowed him to work upon proof of employment, work schedule plus curfew 6 p.m. and no employment as a home health care provider or with minors.
Yes.
My question is, what time can I start his day?
From the beginning of his work.
From the beginning of his work?
Yes,
All right.
because he informed the court that he works in the morning time. So start an hour before his work begins.
Okay. I will do that.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, have a great
You
rest
have
of
a good
your
day,
day.
Your Honor.
You too. Yes. Thank you. All right, thank you so much. All right, who are the parties on Taylor?
Marcus.
All righty, I'm waiting for your client to come back to this room. He's already been requested to come here.
Yeah, I told him to talk to the deputies to get it straightened up.
All right, the court is going to call 2020 CR 5696, State of Texas versus Aaron Taylor. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Ed Camara for the defendant, Aaron Taylor.
And are you Mr. Taylor? I need you to unmute, sir. What you'll do, if you hold down the keyboard on the keyboard, it's the longest key on the keyboard. If you'll just hold that down. Okay,
Yes,
are you
ma'am.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Taylor, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled acknowledgement of discovery. Mr. Camara, did you receive all the discovery from the state? And did you review that discovery with your client?
Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Taylor, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision or deferred adjudication. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am. I understood it.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge, we're waiving the enhancement paragraph.
Any objection?
No objections.
Mr. Taylor, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you
Yes, ma'am.
understand it? Did you
Yes, ma'am.
electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I understood it.
Did you understand what you're charged with is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am. But Ms. Mel, I wanted to say about the case, I wanted to take it to trial because I know when they use the knife.
No. Time out. If you want a
Yes.
jury trial, the court will give you a jury trial. No one has to enter a plea if they
I
don't
understand.
want to enter a plea.
You're right.
So are you requesting a jury trial?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So do you understand what you're charged with is an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Just one moment, please. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, he has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes,
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
yes,
Mr. Taylor, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Kenneth Haywood, Haywood.
Yes, ma'am.
Stop by Marked Stop and Shop located at 4709 Pecan Valley Drive, or its employees, including Evelyn Benavente, Benavente. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
yes, it is.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor, have there been any such motions?
No,
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 100 community service restitution hours, MIC-MILF evaluation, and follow all recommendations. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contact.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Judge. The state offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
no objections.
Mr. Taylor, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? Did you electronically sign them in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Did you have to sign paperwork?
All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. How the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. There's a issue where they're asking for a MIC-MILF evaluation. Is there any mental health issues ever, Mr. Taylor, or no?
Well, I'm diagnosed as schizophrenic and I've been getting treatment for it.
All right, where have you been receiving treatment?
If I'm not sure, I believe back in, they started me, it's been so long ago.
All right, have you received any treatment recently?
Yes, Dr. Elwood.
Is that at the Bexar County Jail?
No, that's at my PC doctor.
All right, so where is your family? Do you have any family?
I have a brother, A. Taylor. I have a sister. That's the only one I know of. I'm not married, I'm single.
All right, where are you from originally?
I'm from Louisiana. my people.
Which part of Louisiana?
Sweetport. Sweetport, Shadow, Mansfield.
All right, so everyone here is smiling because I'm originally from Shreveport as well.
Oh, really?
And Shreveport is very small. I don't remember you. So, Mr. Camara, any objections to me presiding over this? Shreveport is very small. We all know each other, but I don't know your client.
No, I have no objections, and he is willing to coach LSU if you like, Judge.
Okay. All right,
it'll all go well.
All right, so Mr. Taylor, do you have any people in San Antonio, or are your people in Louisiana?
They all in Louisiana. It's just me and my brother and my sister here and my mom. Yeah, my mother.
Oh, well,
my mother.
Usually, sorry.
Go ahead.
Usually where your mom is, that's where you say your family is. You could have 40 people out of the country, but if your mom is in the same state you are, you're always like, well, my family is here.
Oh, wow. I never knew that. You learn something new every day. Wow.
All right. So what are your plans? Do you have a place to stay?
Well, since I've been locked up for the last 5 months, they broke in the window and went into my apartment and vandalized it. And my brother told me that the landlord, the manager, boarded it up for me. But he hopefully, when I get out, he said he'll help me get a place. Because I'm on Section A and I've been struggling. I've been waiting 7 years to get Section A. And I just got it, and Lord been good to me. I just want to get home with my grandkids and take them to the park and stuff and go fishing with them like I've been doing with my activities.
Well, here's the thing though. If you're supposed to be in some type of medication, you need to make sure you're on your medication. Have they been placing you on medication at the jail or no?
Yeah, they've been having me on Zoloc, I believe.
Okay, so.
It's been happening. But see, in the world, in the free, they call it the free world, but in the world, when I go to my Dr. Robinson, when the corona came through, the corona, they had shut everything down. We couldn't go out. So when I went back to see my doctor, they were still closed. And then that's when I ended up getting locked up.
Okay, so Mr. Taylor.
Yes, ma'am.
You're gonna have to change your ways. Otherwise, you know, at some point when you come back, you're gonna come back as a habitual, and you know that's a minimum of 25.
Yeah.
So if you're supposed to be on medication, you're gonna have to stay on your medications.
Right.
I know sometimes people stop taking their medications because they feel better, or either they stop taking them because of side effects. You need to let your doctor know. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. I comprehend.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. There's to be no contact with Kenneth Haywood. Stop by Mart. So you can't go there anymore, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Or the Stop and Shop at 4709 Pecan Valley. Or Evelyn Benavente. Do you have a phone to report?
Do I have a phone? Do I have one?
Are you able to report by Zoom? Do you have a cell phone?
No, ma'am.
All right, so we're going to do, what I'm going to do is you're going to report in person monthly.
What, once a month?
Yes.
Where?
Or if you're able to Zoom, you can report by Zoom monthly.
Okay.
I'm going to want regular UAs. We'll do a mouth evaluation out of custody. So here's the thing about that. Usually I have people remain in custody for their evaluation. So if for any reason you don't make those evaluations with me trusting you to be out of custody,
yes,
what's going to end up happening is I'm going to get a report and those evaluations are going to occur while you're at the Bexar County Jail. And they're backlogged, so it'll take a while. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you employed or are you receiving SSI?
I'm receiving disability, SSI.
All right, so we're going to do proof of employment or SSI within 15 days of release. 100 hours of community service restitution. I'll waive 40 of those if you provide proof that you've had the COVID vaccination. I'm not forcing anyone to get the COVID vaccination. It's completely voluntary. But if you do obtain it and you provide proof that you completed the regimen of the vaccination, then 40 hours will be deducted.
Yes, ma'am. I would go get it because I had it already before I got here.
Okay. Just provide proof. Don't do a double dosage if they're not requiring a double dosage.
Okay.
There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. But if you provide proof of your SSI, then of course you won't be working.
Okay.
Rebecca, is there anything else that Mr. Taylor needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Taylor, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am. Just some little bit help like you.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you
Yes,
waived
ma'am.
your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Taylor, how old are you?
I'm 58. I'll be 50. I mean 57. I'll be 58 in January. I have a birthday coming up.
All right, so here's the thing. You're like me. You have more of your life behind you than in front of you.
Right.
If you continue on this path, you're going to find out that you're spending a majority of your lifetime in the prison and at the jail. So don't let that happen to you, okay? Don't wake up
Yes,
and your
ma'am.
life is gone,
Yes, ma'am.
left you behind.
I got you. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1.
Well,
Probation will, yes?
Judge, will my grandkids be able to see me today? They're gonna
Well,
release me
if
today?
here's the thing, you should be released today, but let me just tell you what ends up happening. What ends up happening is that you end up getting released at like 1 a.m., which
wow.
I don't understand why that happens.
Right.
But you
right.
should be released sometime today.
Okay. You have a good Thanksgiving now.
All right, you too. You have a good Thanksgiving as well.
All right. God bless you.
Oh, thank you. God bless you too. I'm going to send you to
Thank you.
breakout room number 1. Probation will meet you there. Mr. Camara, you can go to number 1 or either you can be excused.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kamara.
Thank you.
And if you'll go to 1, so all of the prosecutors who are assigned to this courtroom, Mr. Taylor, you can go to number 1.
Oh.
All right. If you look at the bottom of your screen, do you see where it says participants and breakout rooms? Noah, could you have, yes. He needs to go to number 1. All right, so all of the prosecutors who are originally assigned to this courtroom, Caitlin, Meredith, Joe Ray, Michelle, where are you guys?
Here.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, guys, we are done for today with this. The other case that's still pending on the docket is not related to the prosecutors here. So you all are excused, and I will see you all tomorrow. All right, bye, guys.
Judge, don't forget about me in the breakout room.
I will not forget about you in the breakout room because I have to go into the courtroom.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There you go.
All right, Mr. Camara,
You have to read on mute, Judge.
just one moment, everyone.
Yes. Somebody want me?
Just 1 second. Okay, I do have it on mute here. I don't know what's going on.
Just turn your volume down.
So what's going on? Did I miss something?
This audio from here.
Where's your speaker? I have to go here. It's here.
No, regular.
Look at us making things happen on Monday. All right, Ed Camara, if you are done, unless you just want to hang out in the 187.
I just love hanging out in the 187th.
Okay, because your client is in breakout room number 1 and he's going over paperwork, but you're done for today.
Yeah, I was just there. Okay, thank you very much, Judge.
All right, have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I think it's this one. That one has to be on mute too.
All right, we are back on the record in 2019 CR 10230, State of Texas versus RC Curtis. Can I have the parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Daryl Harris for the state, Your Honor.
For the defense?
Charles Buck, president of the courtroom, and Mr. Langlois, present on Zoom for the defendant, R.C. Curtis,
All right.
who is also on Zoom.
All right, and also I believe Mr. Stephen Spear is on Zoom as well.
Yes, sure.
Mr. Curtis, could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Curtis, do you have any objections to appearing by Zoom?
No, ma'am.
All right, defense, do you have any objections to Mr. Curtis appearing by Zoom?
No, Judge.
State, any objections to Mr. Curtis appearing by Zoom?
No, Your Honor.
And do either parties have any objections to Mr. Langlois and Mr. Spear appearing by Zoom today?
No.
No, Your Honor.
So the court heard argument in this case on the defense's motion to dismiss with prejudice. And that was heard on November 10th, 2021. The court has reviewed all of the case law that was presented by both the state and both the defense. And of course, the court listened intently to argument by both sides. Based upon the case law, the court will deny defense's motion to dismiss with prejudice. So this is what is going to happen next. State, you're going to take your file. Everything that is in that file, you're going to provide a copy to the defense. Everything that has been uploaded by e-discovery is going to be provided to the defense in hard copy form. State, you need to make sure that everything that you have, the defense has. Otherwise, the court will hear motions, and who knows what may happen with regards to whatever motion defense wants the court to hear. Does everyone understand the court's instructions?
Yes, sure.
Is there anything else from either side?
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
At this time, we're asking the court to grant Mr. R.C. Curtis a PR bond. He's been in jail now for 5.5 years. He would have been done, probably out going home with his parents for Thanksgiving, but he's not because of this. So this is no fault of his own that he's gonna have to sit in jail now for several more months. And we'd ask the court to consider PR. He is absolutely, certainly not a risk to go anywhere. He's got family present. The court has seen them here every day. And we're asking you to consider that. He's been in jail now for way too long through no fault of his own. And at this point, we'd ask the court to grant him a PR bond or an alternative, a substantial reduction in bond, which could possibly allow him the chance to get out and not have to wait locked up any longer than he already has.
All right, with regards to the PR bond, the court is not going to grant a PR bond. The court will consider any arguments for a reduction in bond. State, are you prepared to proceed on the defense's oral motion for a bond reduction? If you're not prepared to proceed, then the court will be hearing a motion for a bond reduction this week.
Your Honor, I'd like a chance to review the record and prepare for arguments later this week. If nothing tardy, counsel just made it orally and had time to consider it, other than the existing charge, which still stands.
All right, and so the question for the court then is, State, this motion is going to be heard this week, the motion for a bond reduction in defense. I'll need you to file that motion, even though you made it orally. So when this week, well, actually, it's going to have to be tomorrow.
Understand, Your Honor.
All right, will both parties be ready tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning, I'll be ready.
Understood, Your Honor.
State, you'll be ready tomorrow morning?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll e-file a motion today, and I'll get a copy to Mr. Harris as well.
All right. So both, please be seated. And everyone, when you're in the courtroom and we're on Zoom, I'll state this, I don't take it as a sign of disrespect, but it's easier for Brenna to have the microphones pick up, and when you stand, we get weird noises. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back tomorrow. Mr. Curtis, we're gonna be back here tomorrow to hear your attorney's motion for a bond reduction in your case.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
I have one further thing.
Yes.
Another oral motion. I can supplement with the written motion, but just for Brenna to know, I'm going to ask that the court provide Mr. Curtis as an indigent a copy of the transcript from the trial or the attempted trial of a couple of weeks ago, so we can get that started.
Brenna has already been working on the record.
Right. Thank you, Judge.
All right, so we will be back tomorrow, and we will take this up. If you all are here at 9 a.m., we'll take it up first thing at 9 a.m.
Okay.
If you're here later in the day, it's
No.
going to be later.
We'll be here
in
at
the
9
day.
o'clock.
Roger that, Judge.
And any objections to Mr. Curtis appearing for that hearing by Zoom? It's easier than getting all the moving parts together to have him brought over.
No objections.
None, Your Honor.
All right, with that, then we will close the record, and we will be back, Mr. Curtis, tomorrow. Defense, do you need to speak with your client?
Yes, please.
All right.
Actually, if Richard and he can break out together, I think that'll make it easier for everybody.
All right. So, Mr. Langlois, I'm going to send you and your client to breakout room number 2.
Okay, and can you also put Mr. Bunk in there too?
Yes, he'll be with you shortly.
Okay, all right, fine.
And state and defense on motions always require that both parties confer. So if there can be agreement reached on bond reduction, great. If there cannot be an agreement, then of course the court will hear it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and Mr. Bach, they're asking that you join them in the breakout room. So
I
we're
can
gonna
log
clear-
in on my phone, Judge, make it easier for everybody, and I'll step up to the hall.
All right, thank
That way you
you.
don't have to clear the courtroom and do all that rubbish.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then everyone is excused.
Your Honor, just to let counsel communicate, would it be okay if I took the complainant's family out back to my office.
Yes.
Thank you.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. You know, there's a shortage on cornmeal. I mean,